What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Thirsty Thursday podcast.
Hey.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, just enjoying this nice cold beverage.
I'm a ice cold beverage myself.
Hey, Derek, you know what number this is? 56.
56?
Yep.
Missed one last week.
Yep. Derek was out last week. Obviously, our loyal listeners did not get to hear his gracious, magnificent Fergie/Jesus voice.
Yeah.
But he's back, and he's got a new microphone.
I do, man. I'm fucking pretty stoked about this. Went and dropped some good money on a fucking good mic, and hopefully it sounds all right.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different, man. I'm used to having a fucking
right in your face.
I know, like just a Shure vocal mic right in front of my face. It's a little weird now. I got a Blue Yeti tucked away over here, about a foot away from me. So it's kind of weird. I keep wanting to
lean in
and talk in it like that,
but yeah, it's kind of nice. You don't have to like crank your neck anymore, man.
Yeah,
super good mic. That's what I'm running too as well. So
yeah, I know. That's kind of why I got it, because I knew you had it, and your end always sounds pretty good. So
yeah, it's starting to sound better.
Figured, what the fuck? I'll copycat a little bit.
Right.
Tried. I don't know how many different mics since we started this thing.
Probably, I've had at least 3 that I've recorded with now.
Man, yeah. I tried. Yeah, just condenser mics and
random vocal mics, just see what it sounds like. And
the vocal kind of sounded best.
Yeah, it doesn't sound bad.
I'm not really set up for sound in here. It's kind of hollow, but yeah.
It's all good.
Maybe that's the next project, is put a little dampen the sound a little bit.
Yep.
So
this is episode number 56. What are you sipping on over there for this Thirsty Thursday, Derek?
At the moment, I got a natural light, but I fucking found my favorite time of year.
Ooh, I know what you're going to say, I think.
Found me an Oktoberfest from Walnut River. So yeah. I don't think that I've ever had a Walnut River Oktoberfest. Maybe I have, but
I think I have once.
I think I'm going to bust into that in just about a half a beer. So
yeah, I'm drinking the old Fruit Bazooka over here, a little homebrew.
That was good, man. That shit got me wrecked.
Oh yeah, I don't know. He was like, "Are you sure that's only 6%?" I'm like, "Yeah."
I don't know. I don't know how one tests for the alcohol content.
It's pretty easy, Derek. You
well, I think you fucked up, because I'm pretty sure like Voodoo Ranger gets me fucked up like that beer did.
Well, I mean, it's using super high quality ingredients as well. I mean, not that. I mean, at the end of the day, it's alcohol, So the way you kind of measure it, though, is the gravity. So when you get done boiling your beer, what you do is you measure the gravity with a tool. It's like a little float that you put in your beer, and depending on how much sugar content is in the beer, the float will sink down, kind of like a bobber, when you go fishing.
Yeah.
So then it's got all these measurements on it. So it's kind of like a thermometer, but for beer. You're kind of measuring, some numbers, and then when your beer's done, you measure. Well, you kind of measure the gravity as well throughout the beer, throughout the process, to see when it's done. So you don't know when it's done, really.
I can tell you right now that I didn't start drinking until later in the evening. It was 9:30, at least, and by 2:30 or so,
yeah,
I was fucking wrecked.
I was too.
Like shithouse wrecked drunk, and I drank.
How many beers did you have at the Hopping Gnome?
That's what I was thinking. Like my tab was like $30, so probably 2.
God damn it, Derek! It was probably like 4.
I think I had 4 or 5 there, maybe, and they weren't real. Nothing was too out of the ordinary. Like no high percentage shit, really.
No, I don't think they have much high percentage stuff
Of
at.
course, I guess, yeah, that shit I started drinking at your house, that fucking fruit bazooka. I had quite a few of them because it's just on tap right there, which is
Well, and it's one of those kinds of beers. It's an East Coast uh, IPA with like a ton of hops in it. So if you don't drink it fast, Derek, it goes bad. Like it doesn't taste as good because all the hops starts to wear off, all that aroma and flavor. So your beer tastes way different. So I don't mind if you're drinking plenty of it, dude, because it's only got like a month shelf life on it. So
yeah. Well, I did a pretty good number on it the other night.
I haven't tried to lift the keg to see what's left, but I imagine it's at least a half probably still there. That's
It's got to be more than that because I fucking probably drink that the other.
You drank a case.
Yeah,
You think you drank a case? There's no way.
no, it probably wasn't that much. It fucking felt like it the next morning.
Oh yeah, I had a massive headache, dude. You remember seeing me? I was just like,
Oh, yeah, dude. No, you were way worse off than I was, but you also drink a lot more.
yeah, because I went to Meddy's and I actually saw me and Tim and Shelly and Haley went to Meddy's and like got something to eat, and then man, we were leaving and Max Abood and Piper Lou were setting up to play, it looked like. So I was like, man, well, kind of wanted to stick around for that, but Tim wanted to try that fruit bazooka, and I don't know, we were kind of just feeling going back to the house, kind of regrouping for a second, and then going to the MJ12 show, which, by the way, that was a blast. I had fun.
It was, man. Dude, like, if you guys have to go check out MJ12 for the simple fact that we can play songs for you on here, and they're good songs, but they are on the other end of the spectrum from what their live show is.
Yeah, their live show is completely different. And then
they're way interactive with the crowd. They're super fucking funny. Matt, dude, kills me every time. Yeah, it's just a blast every time because the whole fucking bar gets into it. Then all of a sudden, you're part of this group.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you're just sitting here watching the show anymore. It's that you're part of this whole fucking thing going on, singing fucking Beyonce or whatever.
Fucking sing-alongs, dude. Like, it's like, man.
Like,
and they fucking just pull out the songs that get you going, man. I don't know why. Like, you're just like, damn it, man.
What's funny is if I'm driving down the road and fucking Taylor Swift comes on, I want to throw the fuck up, and I'll change the station in a heartbeat.
Yep.
But MJ12, there's something about like them dudes up there fucking
all furry and shit.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fucking funny, man. It's a good time.
Derek, I got the one and only Apocalypse Meow scarf that exists. And I got the first album, I believe.
That's awesome. Yeah, I picked one up. I actually listened to that on my way home from Wichita the other day. That's a fucking solid album.
I haven't heard the whole thing yet. So
I skipped past. I listened to the first one, skipped past a couple songs, and went to "Stay or Leave" because it's legitimately like one of my favorite songs.
Man, maybe we should play a song off their album so people can kind of get a little glimpse at it on here.
We might have to. But it's super good. It is fucking really, really good, man. And like I said, like the album is really good. Their live shows are really fucking good. It's fucking cool, man. I was glad I went over there. I had my daughter, and I wasn't planning on drinking, and I seen the Harrison Steel was playing over at
Oh, yeah, you were right next door, weren't you?
Yeah, Piatto, however you say that.
Did you eat any pizza over there, Derek?
I did, man. I got a margarita pizza, and it's pretty good.
I like the process, man. They got that old world fucking, wood fire oven in there. It's like heavy as shit, dude. But you can get pizza cooked pretty quick out of those things, man. And they use fresh ingredients, so that's what I like the most about it.
Yeah, that's you can tell that sauce is fresh, dude. That was a huge deal. I had the bread and everything. You can tell it's fresh, and what I liked about it, dude, because I'd never been in there. I've been by there a couple times, heard about it, whatever. But on that back patio, fucking Harrison's playing like the perfect fucking music. Like I could see like him or Pat's back there or something be the fucking perfect like setting
for sure. Yeah.
And, you just sitting back there. They bring you a big ass fucking glass bottle of water and shit. Like
old decanter or something.
Dude, I'd be the fucking. I felt bad because I had my family meet up with me there, and we had kids running around, and like it seemed like kind of a date spot. Like,
well, I mean, it can be, but
I felt bad because it seemed like they were just like tables of two and two and two and two. You got my fucking rambunctious ass nephew just fucking losing his mind. But no, everybody seemed to like it, and no, it's cool, dude. It's just a great. You know me, patio beers are my favorite beers.
So your mom was watching Harrison Steele.
Yeah, she.
Dude,
actually,
I bet she was in fucking heaven, dude.
She actually showed up late, and I was like, "How do you do that? Like, you finally get to see the guy, hang out, and he show up late." She got a second set though, and that dude's such a gracious dude. He sat there and talked to my mom like for I don't know, good 10, 15 minutes.
Damn.
My mom was just fucking over the moon about him.
Oh, Ray over there was like, wait a minute.
And then
no, he's a great guy, man.
He is, dude. I mean, we seen it. We talked to him, and we sat down and talked. We had a good hour.
Yeah.
Between an hour and an hour and a half, something like that. And I think that conversation could have went on for 3 hours or 4 hours or
right.
But no, that was fucking cool. I've not got to see. You guys pulled me out of Meddy's one day when we were.
Oh yeah, we had to go play our own show.
We'll wait. The masses will wait.
Well, I had to get yelled at too, so there was that.
But anyway, that was the first full set I've caught of his, and wasn't disappointed. Caught a little bit of a set from Tequila Ridge. They were playing at Riggs Park in Hayesville.
Your whole day was filled with music, man.
I was on my way up to Wichita, and I was like, I seen they were playing. I was like, well, fuck, I'll just swing by there, and that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's getting to sound so goddamn good with that steel in there.
Oh yeah, that guy's phenomenal, man.
Oh man, they got and Kenny. Oh, they got a whole different sound going now, almost.
It's cool.
Like you have that traditional Tequila Ridge sound, but then there's just those little nuances in there.
Right.
Dude, it's getting so good, so fun to listen to.
Yep.
I mean, it always has been. Like I said, I put Tequila Ridge and Callahan up there with the drunkest I'll ever get at shows. Like
he's like, let's rank these.
Can't fucking.
This should be
myself.
ranked.
Oh, yeah, I missed last week. The weekend before that, we seen him at Mad Rocks.
Oh yeah, that was a great one, man.
Dude, I skipped the fucking beer altogether. Well, fucking just straight ordered like rum and coke from the fucking.
Oh yeah, I was like, "What are you doing?" I had to look at you. I was like, "What are you doing, man?"
I'm not mixing beer and liquor, and eventually we're gonna be drinking liquor, and might as well just fucking skip a step.
Yeah, I was feeling pretty good about that point because that was that was post Taco Fest, man.
Oh, that's right. That's what we did. Yeah. Did you and Tim talk about that last week?
We did. It was a hell of a fucking day, man.
Yeah.
Overall. It was great. Plenty of good music, and I think that was you and Tim's first time seeing DJ Carbon.
Yeah, it was actually good, dude.
I mean, that's something we don't ever touch on in music, that we have in our community. But he's a fucking phenomenal DJ, man. Like
I will give that credit because I'm not a big DJ guy. I mean, I don't dislike it, but I found myself just standing there listening to the music and shit, and he did a good job of. Yeah, he's good at what he does. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how there's a talent. I wouldn't say somewhat of a talent gap, but I think it's a different art. You know what I mean?
There's an art to it for sure because I was like, us doing the radio station, being in a band. I always want to see live bands, and
right.
that.
I mean, it'd be the same fucking kind of thing as going to see like an orchestra or like watching like Farley Charwell paint or something. Like it's a different way of observing art in a live setting, kind of. And that's, I mean, I do see a lot more of that happening around, but it just depends on what they put out. You know what I mean? Like, but I think they're putting out good products. It's just.
Well, I wondered why. I was like, why the fuck do they have why wouldn't they have bands here? And, why would they have a DJ? And then I seen it and I understood. Like, it just worked so perfectly in that setting,
Yeah, I mean, it kept stuff lively, kept stuff moving. It was easy to come in and out of like any announcements they had or contests or, giveaways or whatever it was. It just kind of kept the vibe up pretty upbeat. And, you didn't have any downtime between like bands loading, unloading, setting up. It would be cool to have some bands there. I don't know what kind of bands you'd put in there for like Taco Fest. But,
see, that's the thing is I think the DJ it did a good job of kind of covering everything, keeping everybody happy. Whereas a band might not do that,
Well, it's not more up their alley. You know what I mean? Like it's more of a social function where the focus is on everything else, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's something there to create somewhat of an ambiance, in my opinion, is what it would be considered. Just create a general vibe. Whereas, if you're going to see a band, you're going to see a band. Your focus is on the band. Probably everything else is kind of secondary, whether that's beer or food or whatever you're doing.
No, you're absolutely right. Because I mean, I can think back, when you're waiting in line, you're doing this or that, or we were standing around talking or something. You still had, music going, having a good time. But whereas, like a band, I don't know, as a live band, you kind of lose it a little bit when people aren't paying attention to you. And I don't know if.
It would be, you'd have people listening, but I think the crowd would kind of split to people who aren't paying attention. And then you'll have a group of people paying attention. And I think like in the setting that they had, I thought it was great because like if you wanted to pay attention to the music and go stand up there and listen to it, cool. But it wasn't like something that, hey, I don't like this, I'm going to go over here, or do this. Like It was just kind of like, it was there. And I just kind of observed it for a while just to watch and see what he was doing. And, yeah, it's definitely an art of its own.
And I will say something like, just watching him, that dude had like some, I don't know, like his equivalent to riffs and stuff, but just, some of the shit.
Oh, his turntable spins and shit was like, it's an instrument.
That's what I'm saying. Like, like you said, an art form for sure, because it's just something you don't think about, or I don't think about.
Well, think about how many local bands or live music you can go out and see, and think about how many paid DJs there are in town. Probably not near as even close to many. So I think it's a competitive market that has its place, and at the end of the day, it's still music they're putting out, and their own form of music. I mean, they're taking stuff and chopping it up and kind of making it their own to a certain degree. I mean, it'd be no different than a cover band or something.
Right, yeah.
But it's just making it sound way better, kind of, in my opinion.
You had a good time.
That was good.
Last couple weekends were,
Yep.
Good hitting the town.
This weekend, we got some cool stuff coming up. But first, I'm going to talk about Alpha Heating and Air, Derek, because
go grab a beer.
It's going to be a hot one the rest of the week, and you don't want your air conditioner going out. And if it does go out, which I hope it doesn't, you give Alpha Heating and Air a call, 316-765-4492. They do free estimates on new installs, but they do service all makes and models of air conditioners. But yeah, they're an LG and York dealer, and if you're having problems, have them come look at it. They also do heating. It's a heating and air. So, as we get into the fall, it might be time to thinking about your heat situation and making sure that's all square, because you don't want to be cold either.
That's just as important as heat. Trust me, I've had my heater go out in the dead of winter one time, and
Yep.
you can only put so many fucking blankets on.
Yep. Yep. So give Alpha Heating and Air a call if you have any problems with heating and air. 316-765-4492. So I got to say, Derek, this is pretty good number 56 so far.
Hold on.
Ooh. Love that sound.
Shout out Trench Bros.
Ooh. So we just want to take this opportunity because we happen to have this awesome platform to say, hey, we're gonna be playing at Tiny's in Mulvane.
Oh yeah.
This Saturday at 9 p.m.
Little shameless plug there, a little self promotion.
It's for old settlers.
But fuck it, if you don't like it, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, there's honestly there's weeks where we forget to send Glenn an email about our shows and it's not on there. We gotta like hit him up or I'm like, dang. But I did remember to send. I remember to send him.
Like, why the fuck wasn't that in the go to shows? Why didn't you send that to me?
Out of anybody, we should know better than anybody to do that. But yeah, we're playing Saturday. It's gonna be kick-ass time. We've really been honing our sound in, and I can't wait to play.
Yeah, man. I don't know if anybody's listening that went to the 3B show. Glenn was listening, I'm sure. He was there.
Yep.
It's even a little bit more different than that now because we got a little electric in there now. So
yeah, we're evolving very fast,
rapidly,
and it's sounding better and better and better and better.
We practiced last night, and it just went off in this fucking direction at the end that like we started playing Stony LaRue and it just fucking morphed into
the Beatles.
God damn it, what song is that? I feel like an asshole for not knowing it, but
Come Together, dude.
Come Together, yeah. Like it fucking worked its way into that, and then it just turned into this. Like everybody was just kind of jamming, and it fucking sounded good. It made me happy.
Yep.
And then we didn't even have Big Dan in there.
No. And that would have been the cherry on top there. But Saturday, he will be there.
Will be.
And if you go, or if you decide to go, or if you're free, I know there's a lot of stuff going on Saturday, but if you're free, you should come check us out because I don't know. I'm no longer scared of anything, dude. Like we're sounding super good up there. We've been upgrading everything we're doing, working hard and putting the time in, which we've talked to tons of bands, since January 1st of 2018.
Yeah, I want to fucking take a minute and thank all the fucking bands that we've talked to, and there's a lot of guys around Wichita that have helped us out, just little pieces of advice.
Yep.
Just knowing that we're starting out, and I think it's a vote of confidence, like it's.
Well, yeah. Why would you help somebody that's like, well, you got to. I feel like you kind of got to see something, and to offer a helping hand.
Yeah, I mean, I really do, and I messaged Glenn. I was pretty fucked up too, by the way, but I told him, I take a lot of what like the stage stuff and just even talking and all that shit. I take a lot from him, just picking up little pieces here and there.
Yep.
And
well, we got a good opportunity to go out and see what's really working for people too. And
Colton's another good one that Colton Garland from Hero Narrative and Rivalries Aside. Yeah, he's been helping us out a lot too, just kind of like talking. He's supposed to come play lead with us sometime, so
that'd be cool.
Hopefully that lines up.
Well, if he was to step in today and just come jam, like I'm pretty sure it's going to sound really good, and I'm pretty sure he's going to be happy with it too, because I'm telling you, we got this sound we're molding, and world better watch out. That's not being arrogant. I know it sounds really good.
Well,
it's been a long time coming, and
it has, man. I notice how fast it's moving once we all start fucking, because it's always been
kind of drug along, or
you wanting to, or me and you wanting to, and or Malachi's wanting to, and not everybody was on the same page at the same time.
Yep.
And now it's just got kicked in the ass, dude. And it's like everybody's picking up. We got a drummer, we got Big Dan who's slays it on the bass.
Oh, dude, yeah, he's insane.
Yeah,
and Brian, he's getting so tight with us now. Finally, like he's well. When Brian came on, Big Dan, I was never worried about him because he's a straight up pro.
Yeah.
With Brian, he hadn't played in a while, and it wasn't even that was the issue. It was just that he didn't have that mesh with us yet. That it took us 3 years to get to the point where we were at when we first even met Brian. So he's been playing perpetual catch up ever since to try to know, because we do weird shit. Like we just stop certain places or we play stuff weird, or you know what I'm saying? And it's probably not conventional to a certain degree. And he's actually getting there now to where he knows what we're doing.
And also, kind of going back to what I was just saying, Aaron Underwood, same way, he hooked us up with Brian,
Yeah, yep.
We had our drummer, and it was like, we're looking for a drummer. All of a sudden, we go play a show. Boom, here's a drummer. Like he was ready to go. I don't know what happened to him. He just kind of went. But then Brian, Brian came along too. We're like, well, fuck, what do? We got 2 drummers, So we got the first guy a shot, and then he just kind of went wherever. But
he didn't ever come back. And we're like, okay.
Funny because we went our separate ways with our cajon player, and then like a weekend later we needed him. And but Aaron knew Brian and set us up with that. And I mean, look out, it's working out really well. And I think Brian is lighting the fire under our ass and getting us to where we're not complacent.
Oh yeah, and he's the beat behind everything. So I mean, you gotta.
He's been here. He's done this. I don't exactly know. I know he's been with bands. He knows a lot of the bluegrass guys and girls. And
yeah. I mean, he never even played with us, but 10 minutes and played a show with us.
Oh yeah, we were Malachi was introducing the band, going around. I remember Malachi sitting there playing, and like Eric Pierce on the mandolin, Derek Metzen over here on the harmonica. Hey, what's your name again? Brian on the cajon. We're Brother Jukebox.
Yeah.
That's funny because you had to stop, turn around. It was like, what's your name again?
That's kind of how it started, though.
We'd only known. I mean, we'd hung out with him that afternoon,
Yep. And then we played another show with him. And then I think we've played, a total of 3 shows with him now. I think that sounds right. Somewhere around 3.
Somewhere around there, yeah.
And the 4th show that we play with Brian is going to be 50 times what our first show was with him.
It's moved that quick. I mean,
yeah.
Oh man, I can't even think of when we got rid of Richard, or however you want to word that. And I don't even remember when that was, but it was like it just picked up fucking steam and just went crazy. And then we're at where we're at now. I mean, we're playing Kirby's.
That was in June, man. It was
playing again. Hey, Kirby's on Monday as well.
Yeah. That'll be a pretty chill show, I think.
Playing the new stadium. We got that coming up.
On the 5th, September. That'll be a good one, too. That's another bucket list for me. I don't know about you, Derek, but that's a place that I go and enjoy music. And
right, yeah.
It'll be really cool to go play music there instead of enjoy it, watch it for once.
Well, I've said before, like when we got to play at Elbow Room, those stages, they mean something to, guys like me and you, and, the ones that go there and watch music and really get into the music scene in Wichita.
Yep.
That's where the good music is at, you know. Like Barleycorns, that's in my crosshairs. Like I want to go fucking rock out Barleycorns, you know.
Shamrock, you know.
Fucking
Cotillion.
yeah, Cotillion, the Wave, Norton's, like those are places, you know. And we're slowly chopping it down, you know, and
I think we're putting our focus where it needs to be, and that's getting tighter, knowing exactly what we're doing, making sure our equipment's in line with what we're doing.
the new stadium's a big one because there's a lot of good musicians in there. I'll put like the new stadium and Elbow Room and Shamrock. Kind of put those three in a group. Maybe there's one I'm missing. I don't know, but
yeah,
that seems where, you know, that's your. There's a lot of good music that happens in there, man. Just a lot of local, just hangout, like almost unannounced stuff too. You know, just jams.
Kirby's too, because that's just
Kirby's
same realm.
Yeah, but Kirby's is almost a different, just a different cat itself. Like,
it really is. It's by itself. I mean, it is.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I guess that's where you always cut your teeth and stuff. I'm sure, like every local band on our station is fucking cut their teeth at Kirby's, you know. But there's a reason why. So people go in there, they know what good music is. Yep. And you can't fuck up in there. It's so small. Like you can't fuck up in there, you're gonna hear it. which is a little bit intimidating, but it also makes you play a little bit better too. And the crowd in there is fucking, I don't want to say always because I've only played there once, but it was fucking awesome.
I just want to say it's more intimate than some other places.
But it was like everybody was there for the common goal of music, you know, and it was like you're out there socializing, you know, just bullshitting with somebody. Like when the music started, everybody shut up and listened.
Yep.
And that means something too, you know, like that gets in your head whenever everybody's listening to you. Then you want to play it even better because, you know, you're playing to them instead of being background music or something like that.
Right.
Which I feel sometimes gets lost. I mean, I think everybody's probably guilty of it, you know, at a bigger bar. You're just socializing. You're out talking. You're got one ear on the music and one ear on your buddy talking or your girl or whatever. But I think at Kirby's you have to shut up because it's so quiet. And you can't, I mean, like I said, as a musician, you can't really fuck up because every little tiny thing, when you have all the ears on you.
No, you can't mess up at all.
You can fuck up and everybody here. I mean, you can mess up. It's not like you're going to fucking throw shoes at you or anything. But it's fun. That's a fun one. And I can't wait to play there again.
Hey, Derek, so speaking of if your shit's messed up, take it to Top Shot Paint Repair.
Hey-o.
Because
there, buddy.
I know. So if you have an issue with your car as far as like minor collision repair, or you just need something like you have some hail damage, I know that's kind of not happening now, but if you have an issue with your boat or you need a bed liner or some window tinting or basically any project with your vehicle, they'll probably get it done for you. They do work with all insurance providers, Derek. Did you know that?
I did know that. You know why I know that?
Why is that?
I listen to the Thirsty Thursday podcast, and you guys tell me about it.
Bing! There you go. Winner. They're located at 423 South St. Francis in Wichita, or you can call 316-260-4022. That's topshotpaint.com. Derek, so the second half of this episode is going to be pretty awesome because we get the chance to hear Glenn pick the brain of a very prominent bar owner here in Wichita who pumps a lot of music through a lot of the venues that he owns. And it's interesting. I'm interested in hearing the perspective of how he does things and what he looks for and, you know, that sort of thing, because he's on the other end. You know, he's not a patron. He's not a band or an artist. He's the other piece of the puzzle, the piece that helps all those things happen and facilitates that all.
Absolutely.
And a lot of times you don't notice what goes on in the background or how any of that works. You just go I'm going to go check out this band at this place at this time. You go enjoy yourself, the end. But there's a lot more that happens in the background, and so I think it's going to be interesting to hear.
Yeah, I mean, you and I both know we've done the bar side. Getting that lined up, we've done the band side too, you know, as far as book. There's a lot of work that people don't understand that goes into that, dude. I mean, just trying to get your schedule to line up with this or that or your budget, there's so much thought that goes into that. And like when we were doing our bar, you know, it was a couple nights a week or so.
Yep.
That we would book somebody, but you know, Barleycorns has music all the time, and
yep.
I believe he runs Snug Harbor too.
Yep. Shamrock.
Yeah, Shamrock. Dude, that's a lot going on, and to be able to book, you know, keep everything fucking going, it's a testament. And, you know, we did an interview with Alex Thomas.
Yep.
It was one of my favorite interviews that we've done because you got to see the inside of that, you know, and picking somebody's brain like that I don't know. It's fucking awesome. It's awesome to listen to. And I think Justin's up there with, you know, Alex and Kenny. And
yeah. So for those of you who don't know, our guest today at the second half of this is Justin Brown. Derek mentioned Justin, but I just wanted to be clear. It's Justin Brown. He owns Snug Harbor, Barleycorns, and the Shamrock. And
do you have any more?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does other things, but
I'm sure he'll I haven't listened to this interview yet, so
no.
It's as new to me as it is to you guys. So,
but I think it's going to be pretty cool though, because normally we interview artists. You know, when we get the chance to sit down with somebody who isn't an artist but deals directly with lots of them, that's such an interesting perspective. Because the reasons you said earlier, it's another piece to the puzzle that goes totally kind of unknown to a certain degree.
Well,
but they're what really the heartbeat behind everything. So,
you know, I'll say 50% of a fucking crowd that shows up just doesn't understand. Like they just show up and they listen to music, get fucked up, and go home, which is fine. But you know, you don't think about the wheels that are turning, and it's cool to listen to. Like I said, I know the Alex interview was definitely one of my favorites. Hopefully we'll have Kenny in here too. But those guys are the ones that are making the Wichita music scene pump. I mean, we can do what we do with the station or the band. You know, all the bands can do what they're doing, but these guys are getting, you know, they're really killing it with the promoting and the booking and.
Yeah, they're controlling most of the music scene in Wichita. I mean,
I think in years to come, we're going to look back and these guys are going to be the ones that really started setting the music scene apart, you know?
Yep. Like, I agree.
Hopefully the scene blows up. I mean, it is blowing up, but I mean, it gets renowned, and I think these guys will be the ones that are behind it.
Yep.
So,
Derek, before we go on to too much else, I think we need to talk about the song that was at the top of the show.
Yeah. The top of the shit. We didn't even talk about that one, did we?
No, we are now.
God damn it. I'm sorry, guys. I've been bragging about them all fucking.
Don't worry. I didn't forget them, Derek. It's
all
okay.
Right. Well, the one at the top of the show, that was our good friends from the Ghost Town Strays. Fucking love them guys. The music those guys put out.
This particular song has artwork from Farley Charwell as well.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he made their Crypt Keeper logo. So the song that you heard at the very beginning is Crypt Keeper of the Plains by the Ghost Town Strays, and it's another original, one that we can actually play without any grief, probably. Don't want to throw that bone out there.
Yeah.
Without getting any flack. But Farley Charwell made the logo for the design. If you look at it, it's kind of like the Keeper of the Plains, but like a skeleton version kind of, and then it's got like some kind of beachy vibe going on in the background with like the kind of flowers and stuff.
You
Pretty
know
cool.
what I
Cool
love
design.
about these guys, dude, is they are fucking surf rock from Kansas, the most landlocked fucking state in the fucking United States.
Right. I mean, the closest you get to surfing is if the fucking ditches flood and you can get a Chevy truck and a fucking rope, dude, and maybe a
that's not-
surfboard.
If that's not a big fuck you to everybody that, you know, like, you don't do, I mean, that you're playing fucking surf rock in the middle of Kansas. Like, we're just going to play what we want to fucking play, and fuck you if you don't want to listen to it. But that's the thing. Everybody wants to listen to it. It's good. These guys, yeah.
It's good.
Oh, man. I haven't caught a show from the Ghost Town Strays in a while. I need to go out and hit them up.
They've been playing quite a bit, I think.
I don't know. Been busy. I haven't got too many shows lately up to the last few weeks. But anyway.
Great song, though.
Yeah, that's a good show, or a good song. Good song. Good song. Jesus. It's Oktoberfest is getting me by.
So, Derek, coming up before the break, we have another basically new song that we've received. Who's that?
This is a little hair metal love, man. I dig this stuff.
Right, we've been getting a little of that lately, and it's
We
kind
have,
of
we have. There's actually, I think we might have to do a little hair metal segment or something. I don't know, but no, this is Acme Rock Company, however you say it. Can't Live Without Your Love. Telling you, we do. I think Wichita has fucking what, 2 or 3 hair metal bands.
yeah, at least 3 that I
They're
know.
good. They're good. If you play me some old hair metal, I'll listen to it, but I'm not.
It's kind of odd seeing new hair metal, which is kind of
Maybe
intense.
we're a little partial to it, or maybe I don't know. But I hear this shit and I'm like, fuck yeah, dude.
Well, it's kind of crazy because it's kind of like listening to Ghost Town Strays with their surf rock in the sense that it seems like it's out of its time, and I kind of flock to bands like that in a way, like bands that just seem like they're like not in the era they belong in, but it just works. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, because I really want to put on like a jean jacket, cut my hair into a mullet, throw on some fucking Oakleys and crack some fucking Budweisers, dude. Like,
Get your mullet rocking.
pull the fucking T-tops off the fucking Camaro, rock, go cruise main for a little bit.
Sip some Budweisers.
I do, man. I really do dig this stuff, though, man. These guys are fucking badass. So,
Yeah.
without further ado, I'll shut up and stop making 80s references. Because I'm really digging deep for them now. But, yeah, here's Can't Live Without Your Love by the Acme Rock Co.
I lay awake, restless in bed. I can't erase you from my head. The memories are just too much. I know I can't go on without your touch. There ain't no doubt about it. I just can't live without it. There ain't no doubt about it. Can't live without your love.
Welcome to the Thirsty Thursday Spotlight, featuring interviews from top Wichita acts and artists, recorded live from beautiful Red Cat Recording in Peck, Kansas. Listen up, you knuckleheads. Here's your host, Glenn Shipman.
Happy Thursday to you guys out here in Wichita. We are happy to be back in Red Cat Recording in Peck, Kansas. How you doing, Luke?
Hey, Glenn. I'm doing okay. It's been quite a week so far.
Been quite a week. Did you get any pool time last week?
No, none. I was dreaming about it, but it did not happen. I kind of got some pool time today in kind of a weird way.
In a weird way.
I woke up yesterday morning to the sound of gushing water under my house.
That's a whole different kind of pool.
And I had sessions through the day yesterday, so this afternoon I got a chance to fix it, and underneath my house is just soaking wet. I'm still soaking wet right now.
It's the joys of being a business owner,
It
man.
is.
I'm telling you.
It is.
Yeah.
You know, that's how it goes. That's okay.
Well, we've got a special guest today. We're super, super happy to have Justin Brown in the house. Justin, how are you?
Hey, Justin.
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're great, man.
Wonderful.
Thanks for making the trip down here. What do you think of this place?
It's great. A real gem on the prairie, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that-
I would think so.
Yeah, that's a great.
I like that.
We need to put that on your T-shirts next time, Luke.
I think we will. I think we will.
Well, if you don't know him, Justin Brown is the owner and proprietor of Snug Harbor, which is out on is it
Lincoln and Edgemore.
Lincoln and Edgemore? I was saying Harry and Edgemore, but there's a Dillon's there, I guess. And then he also owns the Shamrock, which is over off of Douglas and Seneca, and also Barleycorn. So, man, you've got the gamut of all three of those places, right?
Yeah, I mean they're all classic Wichita places. So
Exactly.
I'm truly lucky to be involved in all of them for sure. Yeah.
So, what made you get into the bar business?
I always had what I call a square job right out of college. I did.
I like that square job.
I did sales and did sales all the way up until I bought the Shamrock. But I always had my toe dipped into the bar business. I always worked either a shift on a weekend night or just kind of kept my eye on that. And then about 3 years ago we got Snug Harbor, and then the Shamrock took it to another level, so I quit that square job, and now this is all I'm doing now. So
Going between three bars. So,
Yeah.
you went to Wichita State.
Yep.
Correct. And did you take business classes there to kind of help you prepare for this?
yeah, I mean, I got one of those worthless business degrees. I always say, I mean, I would have been better off probably following an entrepreneur around for 4 years.
Yeah.
But I mean, not discredit the great university, but
Yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge I gained from that, but I didn't know what I wanted to do, so that's why I got a business degree. So,
Well, you can't go wrong with having a business degree, especially if you're going to run three businesses.
yeah,
So,
yeah, right,
You
yeah.
know, and not only three businesses, three completely different businesses, even though they're in the same realm, three bars, but you can't get any more different than Snug Harbor versus Barleycorns versus the Shamrock. I mean, take me through what your thought process was when you had the Snug Harbor and then Shamrock came available.
So the Snug is, as you guys know, a classic dive bar. It's a small place.
It is a small place.
And it's a simple place in that regard. Of course, it has, all the bar drama and bar issues, but it's an easier place to manage. So Shamrock was something that actually it took me about a year for Dave and I to get together on and get everything figured out. So
and you're talking about Dave, the previous owner.
yeah, Dave Stout. Yeah. So that, I mean, it was one of those things where Dave was at the point that he knew he wanted to retire, but he had that place so long, and it's a special place. It's a hard thing to let go. So we worked back and forth on that again over the course of about a calendar year, and then finally got it finished. So
how did that come about? Did Dave reach out to you, or did you hear it through the because we all heard through the grapevine that Dave was looking to sell it too.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it came about. I had heard that too, and I was I was a South Side kid. I grew up in that area. So
South Side.
Yeah. So the Shamrock always was something that was on the radar. So yeah, when it came about, him and I talked about it, and you said it perfectly. A lot of people were trying to buy that bar.
Yeah.
So good credit to Dave. not that I know what I'm doing, but I mean, he thought I knew what I was doing. So he wanted
Oh, I
the
think
right
you do.
person to take it over. So,
Well, and we were in the, I'm kind of speaking from a different side of the mic here, because I'd played, in my band and a couple bands and jams and stuff at the Shamrock for many years, and we loved Dave, and we were worried that somebody was going to come in and make it a DJ palace, or
Right.
and no offense to DJs, but we just we had seen a trend in Wichita where karaoke and DJ were taking place of bands, and we're super happy when you not only continued the bands in Shamrock, you started bringing in some different types of bands and really kind of liven the place up. And that's one of the things that I really wanted to get into with you, is that what was your thought process of taking this institution that had its own fan base, had its own customer base, had its own traditions, and keep to that, but yet make it something new and attractive to new customers? I mean, that had to be tough.
I think the biggest thing was, anybody that I took through that place, we had about 60 days of due diligence where we were getting, everything together on our end. Dave was getting everything together on his end. So, of course, I brought friends, family, everybody by. And every person I brought by, I'm lucky to have a pretty diverse base of friends and family. Everybody loved that place.
Yeah.
So that's really what sparked in my mind. Like, I could probably put almost any kind of music in here, and people that would come in would say, this is a great place. This is a cool place to hang out. So that was the first indicator to me that I can mix it up, a
Sure.
little bit there, because it's got that great patio, it's got the great tradition. Everybody, jokingly goes there on St. Patrick's Day, so,
Yeah.
so kind of extending that, at everybody was.
Yeah, it's the place to be on St. Patrick's Day. It is standing room, well, literally elbow to elbow.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's crazy.
it's crazy on St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
And, I've always appreciated that about the Shamrock. But one of the things, like you mentioned, was the patio. And, the Shamrock is a different venue for musicians because it's kind of a smaller stage, but a big building. It's got its own sound, which is always attractive to musicians as well. But then there's a patio where, you may have 200 people in that bar, but there are only 50 on one side and 150 outside. And how do you kind of wave those two things together?
I always compare the Shamrock to a big block party.
It is.
You park on the street, when you get there. It's got, there's the outdoor patio, then there's the patio right when you walk outside the doors there that's covered. So you could have 3 or 4 different, like a block party, 3 or 4 different groups or parties, going on at all those different locations. So it's nice being able to pipe the music, all the way through. The band will play at all those spots. But yeah, it's that's a good way to put it. It's a small stage, but oftentimes it's a big crowd.
It is a big crowd.
Yeah.
I've seen like a 16-piece mariachi band on there,
Yeah.
and it's really a postage-size stamp stage, and it's not anything that Justin can improve. It's just that's the size of that.
It's a shotgun style bar. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But the good thing about that is, though, and I think that it's conducive to doing business, because your bartenders, no matter how many people are up front, can still hear their orders and still get in and out without interrupting, a band. And
that part's nice, is the fact that, we could have, that group up front can still be not isolated from the band, but not right in,
Exactly.
in the mix there. Yeah.
And then you have shuffleboard, and which always seems to be a big attraction down there too.
Yeah, everybody loves that
Yeah.
shuffleboard. So yep.
But you also have food now. And I like Hot to Trot. Hot to Trot hot dogs. I've always liked them. What were you? Because I know Dave kind of put in a kitchen before he closed up, and I wasn't sure exactly what he was trying for. If that was just trying to make it more attractive to sell, or if it was something that he really had some. Because he made great food.
Yeah, Dave. And that was. And Dave would admit this. That was his downfall with the food, is he was such a good cook that he would get in there and make these dishes that were, exquisite dishes that. No offense to my client base, but a bunch of drunk people really wouldn't appreciate as much as doing something really simple.
Like
So
hot dogs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So it would frustrate Dave, and rightfully so, because he
Yeah.
would make really, really good stuff. So that's something I did, and I discussed it with him, and he thought it was a good idea too, is really just simplify it and do just basic, simple things on Friday and Saturday nights.
And
for
that's
people.
great, yeah. And you have live music on Friday and Saturday nights, and
Yep.
and occasionally you sprinkle in some Thursdays and So when you took over the calendar for him, did you decide that you were gonna dive in? Because I know that you had some experience at Snug Harbor booking more acoustic 1 and 2 person bands, but not really bands.
Yeah, I had some help on the front end for sure.
That's good.
Yeah, and filling that in, and then I just, I basically just let everybody run through there that first 3 months and just saw,
Saw who did what.
Yeah, who did what, who was, and a big thing with bands too, with me, one of the things I appreciate about you guys is I like bands that hustle, that put events on the calendar, that go out and promote. So, and I won't name names, but some of those bands that came through there didn't do that, and I don't want to be just a stop for them. I want them to, make that an event. So that's something I took notes on. And
well, that kind of leads me into a question that I had kind of staged for you is what kind of criteria do you go through now that you have a year? You've been at it 18 months?
No, the Shamrock's just let's see, would be about 8 months, then 9 months now.
9 months.
Yeah.
It seems longer. That's,
No kidding.
Yeah, no, it seems like you've had it forever. Really, it does.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a testament. So, what kind of criteria do you have now that you have some experience under your belt in booking bands, besides the booking and promotion? I mean, besides the promotion, what kind of things do you look for? Because listen up, bands, because the Shamrock is a cool place to play, and this is how you can get Justin Brown's attention.
The bands reaching out to me directly is something I really like. I mean, as opposed to a form email, somebody that will find out my information, and not that I want to get stalked on Facebook by any means, but
Sure.
I mean, they have a lot better chance of reaching out to me directly and saying, hey, this is what we do. We've played here, just references of where they've played
Sure.
before and that side of it. So that's a big thing. I mean, I know that sounds like a simple thing, but a lot of bands don't do that.
No.
They're not that direct. They send a form email out to every venue in town, and they just leave it at that. So.
And I can imagine that's a little bit more effective for some of these out of town bands that come through, because you not only have local bands that come through, you have some regional and some national touring acts that come through as well. So.
Yep.
And I imagine those type of emails are a little bit different than the, somebody coming in and listening to a band and saying, hey, I have a band, I would like to talk to you about it sometime, And
For sure. Yeah. That relationship part of it's really important to me. I mean, that's that communication back and forth. That's one of the things that, as I looked into this business and talked to guys, that were in it, that was something that seemed to be lacking at some venues, was that communication. So I always try to over communicate, if anything, with the bands.
So do you have some mentors that you kind of leaned on when you're starting to look at, who are some of those guys?
Yeah, I mean, for sure for me. I mean, the learning curve for me was definitely sloped my way, because, Alex Thomas is somebody that I mean, I not only look up to, but, him and I have done things together, we're friends. So that's somebody that's a great source. Kenny Ballinger, my partner at Barleycorns, is somebody too that's helped me along. So, I mean, that part for me, Adam Harkey, I mean, those guys, I mean, having them as resources, I mean, those are the three guys in Wichita.
You named the three.
Yeah, I mean, so having them, in the Rolodex is great. I mean, because they've, and this is going to be this way for years and years to come. They've probably forgotten more than I'll ever know, about music.
So what's it like between you three guys? And I'm really getting into it, because this is great, because a lot of I'm in a unique chair right here, because I get to ask you some questions as an interviewer, but also I have a band that's interested in the answers as well. So, and you named three guys that really control the music in Wichita with yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you look at what is owned by you four people, we have Barleycorns, we have the Cotillion, we have Wave, we have Snug Harbor, we have the Shamrock, we have the Elbow Room, and
Lucky's,
and
Kirby's. Yep.
Who owns Kirby's now?
It's Alex.
It's still Alex.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Ryan Bell, I believe, is his partner.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But just imagine the number of bands that go through there on a weekly basis, let alone a yearly basis. It's kind of neat to see that you guys communicate. Now, I wonder what that communication is like. Do you guys talk about what works and doesn't in your places. And
Yeah, it's a group text, that we're on, and it's funny because those guys, again, they know more about music than me. So my first question, and they always kid me about it, is how do they draw? That's of course what I want to know is how the band
that's
draws.
the magic question too. But it's as you've seen, it's never the same.
No, never. So and I just defer to them, on that, and just kind of let them riff back and forth and just interject, when I have somebody that I've had recently before. But no, it's great having that chain where we all just talk to each other about it.
And I think that's kind of a good point too, because I know that's probably the criteria the most used by bar owners is how do they draw. Mm-hmm. And I think one of the downsides of us being so competitive in Wichita with our music scene now is that we have fans that are going to different venues all the time, and they're our fan base is splitting up and going to see different bands at different bars. So it's the draw is never consistent, it seems like, anymore. So it used to be when I'd go watch a band, there'd be 100 people there every time you watched them, and now it's, well, this time so and so is playing at such and such, and so is playing at so and so, and I think that's divided. So I think that brings me into one of the questions that I was definitely thinking about asking you today. What would you say is something that bands can do, and even bar owners for that matter, to draw more people into? And I think Luke and you guys talked about this before the deal. What can we do as bands and as bar owners to get more people, get more butts in seats?
I mean, I think that obviously Facebook is the thing everybody does. I mean, but there's I think some of the old school stuff. One of the comments that a band that's getting ready to play at Shamrock made was, we were one of the only venues that made posters for them. Still specifically. Yeah. So I mean, I know that it probably doesn't draw that many people, but the bands appreciate that, so maybe that ups their game a little bit. Sure. They see that we're trying that. I do something as simple as I've got a jukebox at Sham where I can put messages on, and I'll advertise the bands coming on that too. So I think that going back to some of the old school things, taking posters, down to the Anchor, down to the Monarch, that kind of stuff. That
Wichita Fish Company.
Yeah. That kind of hitting boots on the ground effort is something that I think would almost be refreshing now, because a lot of people just plug into Facebook and that's it.
Yeah. And even worse, they plug into Facebook and then never visit it again. It's like they almost think that it's automatic that people are going to see it. And there's an algorithm to Facebook that's very difficult, and I think that people make millions of dollars trying to figure that out. But it's not as easy as just putting your event up and getting, you have to get hyped just like you would with a handbill. Right. It's a numbers game as well. So
it always seemed like it wasn't a real show to me unless there were posters and handbills and like physical media. All of a sudden, it's a thing. Without that, it doesn't feel like a real thing.
Yeah, and I think me being a rookie in this probably helped, me in that regard, because all that stuff, frankly, was cool to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I saw it, I'm like, we're going to do a poster for this band. We're going to reach out to them. We're going to do these things. And I think that people that have been in it a little bit longer sometimes, it's just easier to hit that auto button, just, do a Facebook event, and just crank it out.
Well, one of the things I appreciate too about the Shamrock is that, and we're going to get to the other two bars. We're not going to just concentrate on the Shamrock today, but one of the other things that I appreciate a lot about the Shamrock is that you have a pro sound system in there with a pro sound guy.
Yeah.
That Daniel he's killer good, man. And it's nice. And I think that once the word kind of spreads with some of these regionally touring bands and nationally touring bands, that you can go there, setup's easy, loadout's easy, plus you have a great sound guy, that makes it so much more attractive for a little bit bigger acts to come through there.
Yeah, the issue I'm having with Daniel now is everybody else is finding out about that. So I sent Adam a message last week, because he's, and he's doing, big shows out at Wave, for Adam now that, of course, pay big show dollars. So it's funny. He's Daniel's awesome, but everybody keeps trying to steal him from me, and I don't blame him. So I would too.
I think that's pretty cool. And I know it's one of the attractive things that we like playing at the Shamrock, because it's, we typically run our own sound at a lot of places, and man, we're getting to the point where it's we like going there, the Elbow Room, Barleycorns, where they have their own sound.
It took me one time watching Daniel set up a band for sound to know that I don't want to run sound. So I was like, I really need to get somebody to do this, for me. So yeah.
I think you guys are in a unique location too, because it's just kind of off the south side, but it's really still south side, but it's still kind of downtown, but it's off downtown. And
yeah, we've got the last Delano marker in our front yard there. So
nice.
I always joke with Jen, the owner of the Monarch, that we're the bookends of Delano there. She's got the
she's got the
east
other
end
edge.
of it. Yeah. So and that's really the edge of it there.
It'd be a bad day when she starts doing all bands in there. Come telling you with all those whiskeys they have in there. Ooh.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So Barleycorns, how did this come about?
So Barleycorns, amazingly, was happening. The initial stages of it were happening about the same time as the Shamrock. And, when we talked about it, my first answer was, I'm too overwhelmed with getting this off, this big bird, this big boat off of off the dock and into the water, that I don't have time for something that's that big of an undertaking, one. And two, I don't have the musical chops to do it either. Because to me, that place is always about the music.
It's music.
Yeah.
Well, and that's a great point. The Shamrock is a bar 5 days a week and a music venue 2 days a week.
Right.
I mean, and that's, that there's no shame in that. That's a great music venue 2 days a week. The Barleycorns is a music venue 7 days a week.
Yeah. And not just that, but a music venue run by two of the three guys we mentioned. Run by guys that knew what they were doing. So, to me, it was like, I'm not going to try to even act like I'm going to come in here and,
change things.
Or take over even for them. I don't want to follow that up. Nobody wants to, go on stage after Jerry Seinfeld, So, so that's kind of my thought on that. So I tabled it. And then Alex, to his credit, the funny thing about Kenny and I, and when you talk to him, he'll tell you the same. We met, buying Barleycorns together
in these negotiations.
Yeah.
I wondered about that.
Yeah. So, we probably knew of each other, but we didn't know each other at all. So Alex put us together. And, obviously, with Kenny's background, not just with Elbow Room, but with Lizard Lounge, I knew I had somebody that I could lean on, in that regard.
Sure.
And it works out perfectly, because that's exactly how we split it up. Now, I'll book things every once in a while, but, it's never without, talking to him first.
Sure.
Or, doing that. He's the music, I'm the bar, and it's a really good marriage.
It is a good. I do think it's a good partnership, but I don't want you to think that you don't stand alone at the Shamrock, because you do. You're still putting great music through the Shamrock, and I think maybe you even have a little bit more flexibility at the Shamrock to put who you want.
Kenny tells me that all the time, and I agree. And we've talked about that Saturday night slot. At the Shamrock, there's a built-in crowd there. At Elbow Room, even at Barleycorns, you have to hustle to get people in there. The Shamrock is a nice place because you're going to have people in there,
no matter
anyway
who's playing.
Right.
Yeah.
It could be me up there playing spoons,
Right.
Somebody probably show up and heckle me off the stage. But it would, so we have that luxury there where I can take some chances, do some different things. And yeah, I agree.
I think that's a unique experience between those two bars, because you have the ability when you get a booking request to kind of filter it through three places. Does this band fit into the Snug Harbor crowd? Does it fit into the Barleycorn scene, or does it fit into my Shamrock scene? And man, what a that's got, it may sound harder, but it's got to make your job easier.
Yeah, it's a nice luxury for sure. And it's really, I've almost been doing this long enough where it's pretty apparent, when I get a request, which one fits the best. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that I do appreciate about you is you're willing to try a band out, especially if you like their music and you're going to put them in, and that's something I think you probably learned from Kenny.
Yep.
Because I'll tell you what, Kenny is loyal to what he likes.
Yep.
And if he puts something in, he'll give it a couple good shots and until it doesn't make him any money, and then he has to go on, But that's something that's very encouraging for a band, because, it's tough trying to make it up. It's tough trying to come up and especially in this competitive band market in Wichita.
Yeah.
And in just the 8 months, I was kind of going to prick your brain a little bit, What have you seen change in just 8 months? Because I'm sure you've seen a wealth of change in the band quality.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like there's a lot more we'll have now, especially at Barleycorns, and it's morphed over to Shamrock, which makes my life easier. We'll have bands, they will build their own bill now. You know, we'll have them where they'll have, you know, 2 other bands play with them now.
They'll come in ready
Barleycorns,
to
it's
go.
always like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
So at Shamrock, I mean, I've even booked acts where they'll say, hey, we'll bring our own openers on now. So that camaraderie is nice because not only do they bring a bigger crowd, but it's just cool seeing them work together as opposed to, you know,
Yeah.
well, we're playing here, you're playing there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
What do
that,
you know, a couple of guys and I have kicked it around a couple times, and I wonder now that we have somebody in the studio that actually could make this happen. What do you think about having a master calendar for the venues that are in town, that when you guys book somebody, it goes onto a master calendar so that, for example, let's just use the Dirty Gentleman for us. The Dirty Gentleman and our band share a lot of fans. So if the Dirty Gentlemen are playing at the new stadium on Saturday night, I don't want to play the Shamrock Saturday night because I know that our fans are going to have to divide their time between the two, and neither one of us are going to be very successful that night. But if they played that Friday night and we played Saturday night, or we played Saturday night, or, you know, vice versa, both of us would have better crowds. What do you think about a master calendar do you think that would help?
yeah, I really do. And Aeroplanes and I do that kind of same thing because we have a common link with us and Brian Clark. He does my Facebook stuff, and he does some
the
things, yeah, for
promotional
them.
stuff at the Shamrock.
So that helps. You know, we communicate in that way. We did that right away because it was I can't remember which band it was, but literally we had them Friday night, and they had them Saturday night. Like I think the second weekend, I had the Shamrock, so we got together and say, hey, we can't do this to each other. We're going to hurt each other. you
Yeah,
know,
it's
in
gonna
this-
hurt. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you know, obviously, you know, with Barleycorns and Shamrock, we do that now. You know, we space
Sure.
out bands there, but no, I think it's a great idea. I mean,
Yeah, I think it would. I think it would definitely help get more butts in seats because you know there's so many choices we have in Wichita, and you know when it comes down to it, it's difficult for fans to choose which bands to go see, and then it comes down to the venue. You know, and it's like that's great too, but you know let's. I would love to see some type of calendar that say, you know, and it would be helpful for me in booking our band too to say, do I really want to play a show the same night that these 3 guys that play basically the same genre as we do, and they're within a mile of this? It's probably not going to be good for us and the venue owner. You know, that's maybe we need to get a volunteer here on ict-radio.com to start that group calendar, and we'll just let you have it as your idea.
Someone step up.
Someone step up. Yeah, so it's pretty neat. Pretty neat having you in the studio tonight. I really wanted to talk to you about your relationship with Kenny and that going forward, since we touched on that. But how long have you and Alex Thomas been friends?
about the same, probably. Let's see, we closed on Barleycorns April Fool's Day, which is awesome for a lot of reasons. You know, Kenny, that first night, speaking of that, wore a cowboy hat. I don't know if you remember
Really?
that or
I
not.
do.
Because everybody, of course, approached me and him asking if he was just going to put metal bands, you know, in Barleycorns because he has that reputation at Elbow.
I don't know why he has that reputation, though, do you? I really don't.
I don't. I mean, it's like people forgot about all those years at Lizard when he had everything.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, but
he
he
booked my band at Lizard's Lounge.
Right.
I mean,
right.
yeah.
Mine too. Way
Yeah,
back in
you're
the
a
day.
metal band, though, so I get that.
Yeah.
We booked our country band at Lizards.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we're a staple at the Elbow Room, and you know, he does not have a genre.
Yeah, but he went down to Hatman Jack's and bought a cowboy hat
Nice.
for that night, and just so we'll always do something fun on that night and that day. But to answer your question, Alex and I got together probably about the time the first of the year, and you know, same kind of thing. I think we knew. I mean, I of course knew who he was more than he knew who I was, but we got together and just started, you know, riffing on things, and he talked to me about the Barleycorn situation. I mean, and really what happened there is, you know, obviously Adam's got Wave to run, and Alex has Cotillion to run, along with, as mentioned, Kirby's, Lucky's, et cetera. And I mean, you want to talk about a big boat to put in the water. I mean,
No
those
kidding.
two places. So I mean, it was.
I feel like you guys have some plans in the works, though.
We're doing.
Yep.
No, we're doing. He and everything with him is him bringing me along. So I always appreciate it, and I try to tell him that as much as possible. But I'm co-promoting with him, Bone Thugs out there at
Okay.
Cotillion.
All right.
Yeah, and he'll bring me in, stuff like that, as we go along. And for me, I mean, again, it's all me learning from him.
And that's the new Browntown Promotions.
Yeah,
or
Productions. Yeah, that's our little. He has artists that do. I think they do bills for him at Kirby and at Cotillion, and that was something he surprised me with. He did a little bill for our deal, and jokingly I said, well, maybe I need to get a production company. And as Kenny told me, he said, well, a lot of these guys with production companies, don't own 2 venues in Wichita. He said, so you're already
ahead of the curve.
Yeah, you're legit whether you want to be or not. So I was like, all right, well, we'll do it then. So it's kind of, taken on its own,
Yeah, that's
life
cool.
after that. So yeah, it's
What's
fun.
the difference in that and just being a bar owner? I mean, promoting a show versus just booking a show.
Well, and there's, as you know, Kenny's got Fine Swine that he books through, and there's a strategic element to it too. It gives you a layer between you and being the big bad bar owner.
Sure.
I mean, is having a production company or a booking company, however you want to describe it. So that helps in that way. And that when bands reach out, they're just reaching out, to a booking,
Right.
company. So there's some strategy behind it there now. I mean, the cat's out of the bag. I think for most people, they know they're all one and the same thing. But I mean, it's still. I mean, a good way to do it. As we do, more things going forward.
Sure.
So yeah.
What kind of hurdles do you have with some of these out of town bands when they come into? I know it's got to be more difficult booking an out of town band than it is a local band, because you can't go down the street and see them the weekend before and say, this is not a band that I want to book. You kind of have to go off of their Facebook and off of their Instagram and.
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest thing. I mean, not to keep leaning on the big bad book, but I mean that's the one thing to look at. One thing that we've got that we've used a couple times at Barleycorns, and I've used at Shamrock that helps, is I've got an Airbnb down in College Hill, so that helps sometimes when bands come in, because we send them, a preview of that, and they'd rather stay in a house than a Motel 6.
Sure.
So I mean that's helped us a little bit with some of the out of town acts that come in and want to
Right.
do something. But no, it's way harder, obviously, because you don't have that history with them. It's obviously harder for them to promote, being out of town than being a local band. So
And you know what kind of fans they have here in Wichita, if they've been here before or not. Or,
right.
So what kind of importance does that put on promotions versus talent? Because I know that we have some very talented bands in Wichita that aren't maybe as great at promotions, versus we have some bands that are pretty good at promotion, but they're not as good as a talent.
Yeah. I mean, it's a balance. And you talked about Kenny. I mean, he'll book talent, and stick with that. And I mean, not to beat a dead horse, but I follow those guys' lead. Alex just put me in touch with Kelly Hunt, who's coming through town.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
did.
she's passing through. We just happened to get her, at the Shamrock. So, and she's obviously uber talented, and she has, a good base here, and so I mean, stuff like that when it comes along it makes it easy for sure.
Sure.
But yeah, to answer your question, when it's just a standalone act, I mean, I always try to get somebody local with them, to help them out a little bit.
To make sure to pad the books. Yeah.
Yep,
To
for
make sure
sure.
that you.
Yeah.
I noticed that you did that a lot in the beginning, where you would have like the after work party from 6 to 9 or whatever, or 5 to 8 until the headliner came in at 9 to 1 or whatever. Then I noticed you kind of got away from that at the Shamrock a little bit too. And what was you kind of thinking in that?
Well, I got comfortable with the bands I was putting on,
I see.
in that regard. Like, you guys are a perfect example of that. I mean, I know you guys will come on, and you can play, 3-4 hours. You're going to promote it right. You're going to, have. So I'd rather all the, all the gate or all the door, go to that. Yeah. And really, back with the block party theme at the Shamrock, having music that early there really didn't hit a lot of times. People were still in that after work mode. They wanted to, relax, chat, etc.
Sure.
So, and it's, I mean, I always, feel bad when there's a solo guy sitting up there and there's nobody up there.
watching it.
That's a bad feeling for everybody. So yeah. So I've tried to.
At that point, you're paying a live jukebox, and that's not any good either.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
Yeah, it's I can see where you're coming from there. So let me say this. Let's say that I have a check for you every month, and I'm going to write it for $10,000. What are you going to do with that $10,000 to get better bands and better people in seats? And what kind of marketing plan would you have if you had an unlimited budget? I guess. I
mean, the first improvement, I would make, and we've made it, is the sound there, the lighting. I mean, probably some sort of, I give bands, a deal on drinks. It's just making them comfortable is the biggest thing.
Sure.
That's where I'd spend, a lot of the money on is getting them comfortable. Because, it's not just a competitive, business for you guys as far as other venues. It's a competitive business for me as a venue saying, hey guys, come down here, and play here and, hustle extra here to get people here. So, that's why I would spend, most of it on making it better for the bands.
That's an awesome answer. I like that answer.
Yeah,
I would have expected him when I started getting in Quiet Riot, and
But that's so right, because if you invest, especially you said lighting, make it look like a real show. You got to make it look like a real thing. You got to get people out of their houses. Just seeing a band up there playing is cool, but if you can say, if it obviously looks like a real show,
sure,
that's more value than
It
just
sure is.
than just a band playing somewhere.
yeah.
You got to step up and really make it be a thing again.
We've got the ability there at Shamrock. I've not to tip my hand too much, but we've got, an outdoor area we could do something with. But there's other plans that I've got for that place.
And what's the zoning like there, though? Has that been a problem in the past?
That's the beauty of that place. It's so old. It's grandfathered into everything. We got churches all around us. There's houses behind us, churches across the street. I'd be afraid to ask, what the what the zoning things are, but it's never a problem.
We can cut that out of the tape.
Like I always joke, we're there when they're not there, and they're there when we're not there on Sunday morning. So it works out pretty well.
Yeah, that's a house that's right next to the west of you. There's a and it's the patio is built around that. That used to be a house, I think. And back when I was playing it, there was a mean old man that lived there that would get really mad at us for being loud as we loaded in and out. And now it's part of it.
Yeah, and that's one of the nice things about the patio at Shamrock is it's built to be a patio. So many of these patios in Wichita, when
have a fence.
Well, when the smoking ordinance came on, they basically just go out into the, Snug has one. It just goes out into the parking lot and it fences itself off
4
because
feet,
you had to do it. So, it's the Shamrock patio is actually a patio that's built, for that.
So you were probably in college when that law passed, I assume.
Yep.
And you're probably in high school when the DUI laws started passing.
Yep.
What would you say those two laws have done to impact your business at the Shamrock and at Snug Harbor and at Barleycorns?
It hurt it for sure, but then Uber saved it.
Yeah.
Especially at Snug. Snug is one of those places you'll drive up to on a Friday night, and there'll be one car in the parking lot, but there'll be 30 people inside
because they Ubered.
Everybody Ubers down
there.
Yeah, I would too. It's not a knock on that neighborhood. It's just there's nothing else down there, at that
and
time.
And there's only 6 parking spots too.
Right. Yeah, you can't park there. Yeah, so it's a perfect Uber spot, and Shamrock's kind of the same way. Like you mentioned, it's on the west end of Delano there. It's basically standalone. So Uber helps us out.
Well, Barleycorns is both of those because it's all street parking. There's no parking lot for Barleycorns. It's all street parking. So
Yep.
Yeah, I think Uber has kind of brought back some of our crowds too, and I know the DUI laws have really kind of hurt live bands and bars in that sense that it's just the stricter they got, the less people wanted to venture out to go out, and rightfully so. We don't want anybody killed to come and see one of our shows, but it's definitely needs to have a little happy medium, and I think Uber and Lyft have provided that, you know, and because I know in the day when you called a taxi, it was an hour at 2 o'clock.
If they chose to come and get you.
Right. And we've all had that buddy that's been the designated driver for us, right?
Right. He only had 9 beers and everybody else had 30.
Right. So, I mean, yeah, that's a broken system too. So, yeah.
Where do you see your 3 bars in 5 years now?
I mean, there's definitely changes I would make, you know, to all of them. One of the things I'm most proud of with Barleycorns, and we've basically got it there in the first couple months, is, to me, that's always been a venue. And we talked about how it's always been about the music, but morphing it into that. You know, I'm even doing something as simple as changing the hours on the door to, you know, check Facebook when we have shows, and that's when we're going to be open. That's when we'll
be open.
Yeah, I mean, because like you mentioned, the parking up there is non-existent. I mean, I think that people in the past that have had that place have tried to make it that neighborhood hangout place, but just morphing it into that venue, you know, is something I want to do. And I think we've almost done it right away, but just making it that kind of place where we have shows 4 days a week, and then we'll have those pop-up shows every once in a while.
And that's a difficult thing to do as a venue owner, as a bar owner, because you're still paying overhead when that place is closed, whether, you know, but you know, it's difficult to also pay a bartender to sit there and watch TV, you know, or whatever.
Yeah, and that's the comfort I take in it. And Kenny obviously has a place like that in the Elbow Room. So that's why my vision of Barleycorns was his vision, because he has that at the Elbow Room. It's a venue, you know, he's open when he has shows, because not only do I not want to pay a bartender to stand around, a bartender doesn't want to stand around either and not have any business. So yeah, morphing it into that. So, I mean, just, you know, Barleycorns in 5 years, I see it, you know, being that as we get our feet underneath us a little bit, bringing in, I mean, those guys did legendary stuff there. You know, they had that block party down there. They had freaking Grandmaster Flash there. I mean, they did all kinds of big things that I think we can do. But one of the things I'm most proud of what we've done in these first couple months is we haven't gotten ahead of ourselves. You know, we've really tried to build it. You know,
you haven't alienated your fan base either, and I think that was important. You know, it's because everybody was skittish about what was going to happen. Yep. You know, it's anytime there's a new bar owner, people get a little skittish about, oh, you know, the thing that I love about this place is going to be gone next week, and you know, I think that's definitely a smart management decision that you made to go in there and not rock the boat, but slowly change things for the better. You know, and I think you should be congratulated for that, because it was definitely 2 of the smoothest takeovers I've ever seen.
Thanks.
Not just Shamrock, but Shamrock and Barleycorns. You know, it's.
If you didn't know, you didn't notice.
Yeah, if you didn't know, you didn't notice. That's exactly right. You know, it's definitely smooth in those 2 places. And you know, we've seen a bunch of bars close in our time, and it's like the next week when they're open back up, it's we don't have that type of music in here anymore.
Yeah.
Well, why? You know, it just frustrating. But you know, it's.
And yeah, we did that. We, of course, you know, with licensing the way it is, we had to close. After we closed on it that April 1st, we were closed for 3 or 4 days. And that, to me, it was a leap for Kenny and I, because we said, okay, we're going to do this as a venue. So venue's closed for 3 days. So we're just going to close until we get everything like we want it, and then we'll open, you know, on you know, the right day at the right time.
Right time.
So, yeah.
With the right band. And yeah, you guys did it right.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
Well, I think if people found out how good Elemento Pizza is, that place would be open 24 hours a day.
I've heard a lot of really good things
my
about.
Goodness.
I've never had it. I'm late to the party.
Yeah, for a take and bake pizza, I mean, you can't beat it. I mean, it's
they cook it there though. I mean, you can take it home. You can spend the same money and take it home and bake it, but they make it there, and it is. Yeah, it's one of the best pizzas in Wichita. It really is. Yeah, and I'm glad that you guys added it to Barleycorns, and now Elbow Room has it too. But.
Yeah. Is this like a third-party pizza place?
Yeah, he's out of Mount Hope, and you know, like most of my good ideas, I stole it from Alex. He has it at Kirby's, so we got it at Barleycorns. I've got it at Shamrock on Saturdays now too.
Oh, so, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
He's only open one day a week. He has an actual physical location in Mount Hope, but he's only open for like 4 hours on Friday night. That's it. The rest of the time, he's making pizza to hustle out to Shamrock, Barleycorns, Elbow Room, Kirby's, who knows where else. But it's
good. Yeah,
I would like to get my own account set up so that he can just deliver it down to Hayesville too.
Well, having him come out to Peck ain't a bad idea
Yeah,
either.
there you go.
It's pretty close.
I mean, further on that question, as far as Shamrock in 5 years, I mean, Shamrock of the three is the magnificent beast. I mean, we have 2 apartments above there where people live.
I know.
I mean, there's
isn't
a
that
roof.
cool?
There's a rooftop. There's another building back behind it. I mean, there's so much potential there. I mean, I mean, in 5 years with Shamrock, I have a ton of ideas, but who knows, know, how many of them will come to,
fruition.
Yeah, just because of how much there is there to do and how much you can do there. So
I noticed one of the things that he changed immediately at Barleycorns was that he started serving wild turkey.
Yeah, right. Had to. Didn't have a choice. Yeah. It's funny. One of those things they just slide by. We didn't have High Life for a couple weeks either, and it's just because they didn't have it before, and it just slipped by me. We got wild turkey now.
And his profits went up quite a bit.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah.
I probably am responsible for that.
Yes, directly. Yes.
Well, Justin, it's been great talking to you, man. I sure appreciate you coming down here today. It's great getting to know you a little bit. And I know that I speak for a lot of the bands in Wichita. We sure appreciate what you've done with the Shamrock and with Barleycorns. I can't wait to get in and play at Snug Harbor. I think we're there at the end of the month.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
That's going to be awesome. And I'm so excited to see what you're going to be doing the next 5 years. And, I can't think that Wichita could have a better bar owner than you. So
appreciate it, man.
It's just it's a great pleasure having you in here today. Thank you so much. That does it for another Thirsty Thursday Spotlight. Special thanks to Justin Brown coming in tonight. Thank you, Lou.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you,
Appreciate
Glenn.
you coming in, man, and manning the board.
Yeah, I somehow managed to slide in here.
As always, you can listen to us on ict-radio.com. You can download us on your favorite podcast app. When you're there, make sure you give us a subscribe or rate us. Heck, that helps the algorithm get us kicked up in the ratings there a little bit. But as always, go to shows.
Go to shows. Thank you, boys. I'll be the same.
Recorded live at Red Cat Recording, Peck, Kansas. Hosted by Glenn Shipman. Check out redcatrecording.com. Adios.
All right. We want to thank Justin Brown.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. I thank Glenn and Luke as always for doing what they're doing and make our lives so much easier.
They're kicking some ass over there,
They
Red
are.
Cat.
They are. So
Yeah, we got some fucking cool shit lined up out there too. So stick around, stay tuned.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. That's even better is man, they're just getting fucking people left and right.
Yep.
Like we've talked to everybody, or tried to, line all this up, but it's just so hard. And Glenn and Luke do a fucking crack up job of getting this set up and done.
Yep.
Can't thank them enough.
For sure.
Yeah. Glad they're on our side.
Yeah. It's been a pretty crazy week, Derek. Had a lot of fun, did a lot of different things. And there's still time. We're about halfway through the month here to vote for the top 10 countdown
Oh yeah.
for August.
It's
Going on.
getting good. What are all the bands in there right now in December? Well,
December.
December. We about made it this last month.
I've got fourth or something, but
Fuck
okay,
yeah! I was
don't
just
quote me.
chipping
I'm probably gonna forget a few here. So the December finalists so far. Let's see. Rivalries aside, Capybara, Dusty Grant, Jason Callahan, Left Without Notice, The Great Moon Hoax. I think I said Left Without Notice. I'm trying to think if they are. I'm not sure.
Oh.
We have. I'm just trying to spit off the top of my head too. Sorry if I forgot you so far, but man, there's just
Anyway, we don't need to listen to your shitty memories.
I know it's fucking it's coming. It's really shaping up to be pretty bad.
I'm dogging on you for having shitty memory skills, and I fucking remembered zero. Remembered none of them.
Damn it, Derek.
I do know that every month though, it fucking great fucking music. I mean, obviously everybody votes on them, and there's a reason why they're voting on them. But
I can tell you this one's going to be pretty crazy if it keeps going the direction it's going. Because I'm the only person that knows until
I know I hate it.
until we do it.
I fucking hate it. Pisses me off. But anyway, go vote.
Yep, ICT-radio.com.
I'm not even going to try to sway it by saying go vote for Brother Jukebox, but it'd be a lot cooler if you did. That's the crazy thing is I don't know who's voting on this shit, but
Well, okay. Last week, I think it was last week, I ran into. I was at that Battle of the Bands out at Stearman Field, and I ran into one of the dads in Capybara because they were competing for the finals to play with Eve 6 like they did over this last weekend.
right.
Pretty fucking cool. But he was like, "Man, I get up every day and I go vote for you guys." I was like, "What? You're the guy?"
Well,
I was like, "I found him, I think."
we certainly appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I always feel kind of bad because we have a hand in. Well, we have the station and the band.
But I don't vote. I don't
either. I stay.
look at it. It is what it is. I mean,
I used to vote for bands. I didn't vote for our band, but I would vote for bands now. I stay out of it altogether.
it's kind of fucking fun just to wait till the end of the month and you see what happens.
Yeah, but it's fucking very cool to me that like to know the talent in Wichita, and not necessarily that the top 10 is
a exact representation of
it's not
actual
a
talent.
barometer.
No,
But-
it's just who's gonna go vote for this band.
But it's fucking cool to me that somebody outside of my family is voting. You know what I'm saying? Like it's.
Well, the cool thing to me about the top 10, Derek, is that it's not that it's about who the best band period is. It's about who people are enjoying at that time. And the whole purpose is to get people's music out there and showcase it. Basically showcase it and talk about it a little.
People aren't going to vote for our stuff if it's awful. So
Right.
unless it's just that awful.
It's like William
People are
William
laughing at
type of
you
shit,
and
dude.
pointing. Yeah, no, but I know it's not that. So it's very cool and humbling to be a part of all that. So, and just so everybody out there listening is clear that we have nothing to do with it. It's always a surprise to us, except for Eric, because he.
Well, I actually don't even check on it that often. I just kind of maybe once or twice a month I'll look and just look at it, But up until right before it goes down, I don't really look at it too much, just because I want to have that sense of surprise as well. I don't want to, So
Yeah. So all right, well, we better get on with this.
hey, we want to thank our sponsors, Derek.
Top Shot Paint Repair.
Baby.
Top Shot. No.
TopShopPaint.com for all your automotive needs.
Auto Body.
Auto body, but they do automotive stuff, Derek.
They do boat stuff too.
They do boat stuff.
Ooh, that almost sounded dirty.
Almost sounded like butt stuff, but no,
No.
they do boat stuff.
They do boat
Boat.
stuff. Boats and hose. Oh, anyway.
All right, second
Anyway,
awesome
yeah.
sponsor.
Alpha Heating and Air. We'll quit being stupid right now. No. Alpha
Thank you
Heating
to
and
Alpha
Air.
Heating.
Yes.
316.
That was awkward. That was awkward. There, wasn't
That
it?
was awkward as hell, Derek. Call them today if you have issues with your AC or heating unit, or if you need a new one. 316-765-4492.
Thank you guys so much.
This has been an awesome episode 56. I can't wait to see what 57 has in the store. I know we're going to keep growing.
I just want
Keep
to thank.
sending new music in, too.
Yeah, we've been getting some really good stuff lately, and like I said, I want to thank everybody that's listening, everybody that's going out and listening to music, supporting us, supporting the scene. You know who you are. I don't have to kiss your ass. You know who you are, but we really can't thank you enough. And yeah, ready to fucking ready. I'm so pumped to see where this is all going because it's blowing up in front of our faces, and we're all having a blast with it, having a good time, and
Yep.
Yeah.
Be on the lookout. We got some other stuff in the works too, Derek.
Yes, we do. We working on a few different podcasts. I'm actually anytime now. My next co-host that shall be showing up for a new podcast that we're working on.
Yep.
And then tomorrow we will be doing another podcast for similar. Yeah.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Well,
So that's sports related.
Okay. That's
Sports,
cool, man.
We're doing a fantasy football one tonight, and then tomorrow will be just general sports.
Cool, man. And then we got some cool shit going down too that I don't even think we're going to talk about because we're not ready to release it.
No, I feel like that type of podcast that we're working on now needs to be a secret, just to stay in theme with the podcast.
Yeah.
Get you talking about it. We're not going to tell you. We're just going to let you conspire over it. Ooh, fucking those big words.
If you're in the know, you're in the know. If you're not, fuck
Big
you.
country with big words, son.
We're going to get up out of here. We have one more song to play for you awesome listeners, and we can't wait to share it with you. This is also a new submission, which it's great when we have new submissions that we can just play throughout our show because we enjoy new music and we get it constantly, and we just really enjoy showcasing it for you listeners.
There's another one that I was a little disappointed that we didn't get to play this week.
Oh,
But we'll play it next week. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
okay.
Okay, now. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, this is some brand new stuff that so good.
It is.
These guys never fucking disappoint me, ever.
These are one of my favorites, actually.
Yeah, they are.
Like a kid in a candy store when I get to hear this group.
Right? So, anyway, this is The Cards Don't Lie by the Zigawatts.
Enjoy.
Enjoy. We love you. Thank you. Peace. Later.
Listen up and let me tell you something that you might not want to hear. But we're controlled from the east to the west coast, trembling with fear. We'll feel fine if we've got our 9, a shotgun, and a bottle of booze. But just to break the tension, let me go ahead and mention that we're all just paying our dues. 'Cause the cards don't lie. There's something wrong with the bigger picture when somebody wants us to distrust our brothers and sisters. But can we try and look beyond the strange? Is your mind to change? But we've got to try. Please hear what I'm saying. We'll all be fine. But in the meantime, well, in the meantime, we're casting labels like headstones. You need a prison to be free. We're running out of excuses. Somebody lie to me. But when I strive for some peace of mind, they wanna come and try to take it from me. Hysteria of the media, won't you set your captives free? Set your captives free. Set your captives free. Why don't you just set your captives free? 'Cause the cards don't lie. There's something wrong with the bigger picture when somebody wants us to distrust our brothers and sisters. But can we try and look beyond the strange? Is your mind to change? But we've got to try. Please hear what I'm saying. We'll all be fine. But in the meantime, well, in the meantime,
the beat streets, remedial beat seats, Raffinial beats, tweak the top of the pops to rock, not the menial, jack in a box, regress into the median, time to examine the right of life, why remedial, why is the median media parameters so meaningful. Cause when you see the parameters, no meaning shown within the parameters. Gotta see freedom roll before they brand me a robot like C-3PO.
Cause the cards don't lie. There's something wrong with the bigger picture when somebody wants us to distrust our brothers and sisters. But can we try and look beyond the strange? It's your mind to change, but we've got to try. Please hear what I'm saying.